This week, we're talking about the 5 biggest mistakes that you might make when starting to incorporate online video into your firm's or your personal brand's marketing strategy. Episode 27 of the show is up next. Stay tuned. Giving architects and landscape architects the tools and strategies to be seen, heard, and valued in the marketplace, and telling the stories of leaders building thriving design firms and attracting their ideal clients. This is From Architecture to Profitecture. I'm your host, Jay Krakowski. Let's get started. Fellow and future Profitex, hello, how are you? Welcome to this week's show. We're talking about online video, my favorite topic. And if you've made the decision to incorporate that or start to incorporate that into your firm's marketing plan or into the strategy to build up your personal brand, well, it's very exciting. It can be highly effective, but there are pitfalls. There are things to watch out for. You can get tripped up in. And I may have been guilty of a couple of these myself, but we're just looking at the top 5 today. There might be a few more, but we're looking at the top 5. So let's dig right into it. Number 5, hiring a production production team right from the start. Why is that a pitfall, Jake? They're trained in what they do. They have all the latest gear. They understand editing and publishing and potentially and all that good stuff. So why is this a bad idea? Well, personally, I'm of the mindset that I'll try anything once, and being an ISTP, especially if you follow the Myers-Briggs personality breakdown, I love to know how things work. I haven't bought a computer from a store in 20 years. I've been building it myself. So, and I love tech. And maybe you don't like tech, and maybe that might be a reason why you'd say, well, I need to bring in this outside company to do all this for me. But when it comes to the online space, when it comes to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, these are all things that can be accomplished with your smartphone. Yes, even editing and publishing. And what's so vital is to dip your toe in the water and then to get your feet wet and to test. And I talked about this on recent episodes and recent videos, is to test the content, see what's resonating with either your potential clients or with your colleagues or with your industry, whatever your intent is, whatever your goal is. Get out there and rather put yourself out there on video, put your firm out there on video, put your brand out there on video and see what resonates. There's no sense spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And I've heard it from fellow design professionals, even right here in my own local market, that they've gone out and created a huge production and either weren't able to use all the material because things changed in their messaging or in their business. Or gosh, the outcome just wasn't good, or they didn't feel like it fit the brand. There's so many ways that can go wrong unless you've put in the work and have even used your smartphone, unless you have tested and see what's going to achieve the end. Why are you doing this marketing in the first place? Start to get a grasp on what video can do for you, what it is doing for you before you go and pay a professional thousands and thousands of dollars. And the side note to that is when you bring in the crew and you bring all these cameras right from the start, your anxiety level gets up. It's not just having the camera and the light in front of me as I do now. When you've got other people around you, that the butterflies are amplified. The nervousness can be amplified, especially if you haven't done it before. And it comes across, especially on camera, where you're not being your true self. You're not putting your true self out there. So take a stab at it yourself first, or have a friend or a staff member or a colleague hold the camera for you. That's fine too. And just talk and then put it out there and see what sticks. Now, moving up from just filming on an iPhone, you can also run the risk of number 4, overbuying tech. While I started with just a few videos on my phone, I quickly wanted to upgrade to the DSLR. Did I buy a $3,000 Canon body and $1,000 lenses, as you might see on someone like Eric Reinhold, 30x40 Design Workshop? No, that's not where I started. That's not where he started either. Even though he's got this extremely high level of production, that's not where he started. He probably started with a webcam or an iPhone. I can't remember what it was, even though I have seen his very first YouTube video, which you should go watch, by the way, and compare it to where he is now. It's an incredible transformation. But especially as you're starting to research online with all these different marketing and tech channels on YouTube, and the way that they film the equipment and reviewing the equipment and having affiliate links to sell the equipment, it's really enticing. Having all these bells and whistles and being able to shoot in 4K and 8K, which is just ridiculous. You can upload to YouTube in 1080p. And the first 20 some episodes of this show, when I uploaded them to YouTube, just because of the StreamYard streaming service I'm using now, they're in 720. And you know what? That's okay, because my message is coming across. I am building comfort on camera. And you don't need the highest resolution and the fanciest gear, and to spend 4 and 5 figures on camera gear and microphones and a ceiling mounted lighting setup. You just don't need that. You can start with your phone. You can start with a webcam. You can put your laptop in front of the window so you've got nice light coming in on your face, and that's how you get started. You don't need to break the bank to really build a brand and build your image up online. Number 3, once you've decided to start filming, is you can run the risk, or you can fall into the trap of trying to publish everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I think you can go to Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever else is coming next year or next month. Trying to be everywhere all the time when you're first starting, I know it can be enticing, especially if you're, again, falling into the world of online marketers, as I found online, mainly through YouTube. But they are able to publish everywhere. They have teams of people that all they do is publish and reproduce and reformat and redistribute everywhere, and that's great. But again, think about the intent of why you're doing this in the first place. Are you trying to get clients? Are you trying to simply build awareness in your local market? Are you trying to gain stature in your industry or among colleagues so that you can publish papers, write books, speak at conferences, virtual summits now? Someday we'll be allowed to go back to conferences. But what's the intent of what you're doing, and find the platforms where they are. Now, your videos may just live on your website. That's okay. If most of your traffic comes from Google searches, and let's say you are more locally focused with the projects that you're trying to put out into the world, most of your traffic comes from Google. Well, put those videos on the website, and it's okay if you're not reformatting them for Instagram stories and a carousel post on LinkedIn and all this stuff. Find the place that suits the intent of why the heck you're doing this in the first place, and start with one. A lot of marketers will say, start with one platform. I push the boundary a little bit. Obviously, I'm here on Facebook and LinkedIn at the same time, but I've been doing this for a little bit, and then it gets repurposed over to YouTube. That's 3. Is that too much? Maybe that might be for you. That might not be enough. But trying to publish everywhere right from the get, you can just burn so many hours and potentially dollars if you've hired someone to help you out, trying to reformat and republish this stuff everywhere. Now, number 2 is, maybe you're not publishing everywhere, but you're publishing maybe just to one platform, but then you're not telling anyone about it. It's okay to publish to just one platform, but on every other platform and place where you are, you need to be telling people. You need to be telling your family and your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, dog walker, mailman, whatever. Tell everyone that you're putting this video out. After all, you're going to be investing a lot of time, if not a lot of money, at least a little bit of money at the start. It's not a small endeavor to shoot and edit and publish a video. It takes time. So why not tell everyone about it? After all, you're trying to gauge the response. You're trying to see if it meets the intent of your marketing strategy. So why not tell everyone about it? Why not go onto Twitter and to Instagram and put a little blurb? It doesn't have to be a video clip. It could just be a text post. It could be a text post in Facebook saying, hey, hop over to my YouTube channel, my new YouTube channel, to watch the video I just put together and let me know what you think. So you have to distribute at least the awareness, if not the video itself, but distribute the awareness, because that's going to help you justify doing this all in the first place. And of course, the number one mistake you can fall into, and as design professionals, as much as we reiterate and redraw and perfect, and the notion of perfectionism is so pervasive that it's just crazy. Well, the number one risk you can make in starting online video is going through all that effort and then not publishing it at all, saying it's not good enough, saying it's not ready, allowing the fear of judgment, whether that's of colleagues or of your family members or your friends, allowing that judgment to overtake your thoughts and say, gosh, I spent how many hours? I spent 10 hours shooting this and 30 hours editing it, and I'm just not going to put it out there. I'm just going to save it. I'll tweak it. I'll work on it another day. Well, gosh, that's a little sad, to be honest with you. But if you're willing to make the decision to jump into this medium, which I think is so powerful, which I know is so powerful because I know it's returned dollars into my business, and it's returned confidence on camera and being able to say what I do and who I serve. If you've taken that step to make the decision to jump on online video, you've got to put it out, because again, as I noted in previous videos, it's all about testing and reiterating and getting better with each step, just like every layer of trace that you put down or every layer in your Photoshop or Morpholio document. It's all about improvement. It's all about growth and improvement. So you've got to get it out there and just get better. And of course, one exercise that I always recommend is find your favorite creators online, especially if they have a following and they're putting out amazing looking content. Now, go back and watch their very first videos, the first 3 videos. And in a lot of cases, you'll laugh, but it will give you the perspective that we all start potentially terrified of the camera, but we all start at zero. We all start without a single video published. And we all start from ground zero, so to speak. So those 5 were something that gave you something to think about. They were helpful. You don't need to hire a production crew from the start. You don't need to overbuy the tech. The phone in your pocket is more than good enough, especially these days. You don't need to be distributed absolutely everywhere on every platform known to man, but you do need to tell everyone about it, especially if you only publish on one. And you've got to just put it out there. You got to just put it out into the world and incrementally grow and get better and better, because like the skills we use in our everyday work, or like other life skills that you developed, other hobbies you developed, it's all about practice. It really is. It's all about practice and gaining that comfort level. So if you've made the decision to jump into online video, and maybe you've got a camera, you've got your phone set up with a tripod and a light, and you think you're ready to go, well, the next question is, what the heck do I say? What do I say that's gonna make the difference and meet my marketing intent? And for me, it was to gain new clients, or to have the clients get to know me before we entered into a working relationship. What do I say, and how do I say it? And I'm hosting a workshop next week, beginning August 26th. It's called Invisible to Invaluable. I'm going to bring you out in front of the camera, or at the forefront of writing your copy, let's say for Instagram posts, or for Facebook, or for your blog. How do you create content that attracts your ideal clients? That's not just, here's a list of what we did on the project, or here are my credentials. Not just telling the facts, but rather telling stories and engaging, and again, allowing the clients to get to know you before you meet them, before you actually put pen to paper. So if you visit Profitecture-by-Design/workshop, you can learn more about the 3-day workshop that I'm hosting, and I hope you'll join me for that. And if you have any questions on that, or you've got ideas for this show here, feel free to send me a message at Jake Krakowski, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And until next week, where I hope I see you in that workshop, make it a great week, because our success is inevitable. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you stay up to date with future episodes. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Jake Krakowski. And for show notes and much more, visit profitecturebydesign.com/podcast.